Good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your Spider ETF stock market update. And this update is for Wednesday, and we're at the 7th of August, 2024. Let's go to some news and take a look at that, and then we'll come back here. You get your jobless claims report tomorrow coming out at 7:30. They're expecting a 240,000 number on initial claims. May wholesale inventories and sales data report tomorrow at 9. They're looking for an increase, but I'm bothered. I checked the typo. I didn't think I made one. They're saying May, and that's, what, 2 months ago? What good's that? Energy analysts are forecasting the Wkly and EIA natural gas number. They're looking for an increase of about 30 billion cubic feet. Federal Reserve, U.S. consumer credit headline, well, came in lower. It was up 8.9 billion. They were expecting it up 9.7, so it is 800 million lower than they thought. The revolving credit came down, but unfortunately, non-revolving credit up. Now, we also saw Dutch Brothers with earnings, and it's all over the board. An hour ago, saw the earnings come out, and it was up a fraction. Then I went and looked just before I did this, and unless my eyes were failing me, you were down 17%. Bumble, the dating service, people I guess don't want to meet each other, down 25.68. Robinhood, up 2.2%. I like Robinhood. They're stealing business. You know, in the 1980s, I opened up my discount brokerage firm called Ira Epstein and Company. And it took us years, not many. And we became one of the largest in the industry as an independent broker. As an independent, not clearing firm, I think we were the largest. And I was taking business from Linn Revco, from Linn Waldock, from First American. These were all the names out there. And we were able to just grow the company into a neat-sized company over the years, you know, and enjoyed it, had our run. But I realized that you couldn't compete in the end with the banks. And it was just time to get out of some of these things. And it turned out to be right, because very few firms, especially in stocks, they have to become a bank. And Robinhood just might. You know, they had their setbacks. Thank God they had big investors. Remember the crypto problems they had? Remember all the lawsuits because people for days couldn't get into their platform? Or I know it. I've had the problem. They've had it. We just saw Schwab and Fidelity had it on Monday morning, all right? You work with technology and it's great until it isn't. That's the way it works. And I was before all that with bands of people on trade desks. It was a great way to teach people the business and make traders out of them in the end. And a lot of them are still doing that. Unfortunately, that part of the game doesn't exist anymore. There's no trade floors. All that wonderful part is gone. Okay, so there's something new here. But I do give Robinhood a lot of credit. They are able to grab it. The big question is they'll reach some threshold where they can't take those clients anymore. People are going to them for superior technology, and I think they do have that, to be honest with you, especially for option trading. If you go into all these crazy types of option trades, and they're able to really do some neat work there. So we'll see. Their buy accounts, special offers, give us money, we'll give you 1% up to a certain amount to come with us. Eventually those things wear off. How do I know? I was part of doing that in my time. All right. So now we look at Amazon. We gave away, by the way, free commissions. They're giving percentage on the money. Remember, you can't give free commissions on stocks. They're free now. Otherwise, they do what I did back then. Higher high, lower low, not filling a gap. Still not a good-looking chart. And here, oh, one other piece. I knew I forgot something. And I do want to spook. You know, I'll get to it in a minute. I know where to put it. All right, so we'll stay with this the way it is. Even under the 200-day average not coming. Remember, we were talking when you get a bearish crossover, be careful. It often creates selling pressure. We'll see if that is, in fact, the case. The market came down today, checking out the lower Bollinger Band for support, and that's important. How long can it stay under here is going to be now the next thing. And one of those things that you look at is, do you embed? It's not even trying to embed, so it's just staying oversold. I don't think it has the big legs to the downside it could have if it embedded. In CrowdStrike, well, you're on the verge of losing the bearish embedded reading. Do you see the red line here? The value is 20.04. Any close over 21 is a sign that the market is through on the downside and wants to challenge the closest main moving average. It hasn't done it yet. It also closed near the low. So any opening higher or lower tomorrow, you got to look and see how that affects the math of this. Watch it during the opening. Uranium, all it's done is move to the right-hand side, but, just like CrowdStrike, it's flirting with losing the embedded reading, which could be a telltale sign that the market's ready on the downside to give you a correction where price and the 18-day average could come together. The first step is you got to lose that embedded reading on a closing basis. Rivian. So Rivian, we saw them come out today, what they were saying. They ended up down 1% on the day. Yes, they got Volkswagen for a $5 billion infusion eventually coming in. They expect to close on that deal this year, get $1 billion of that money. Their earnings and all didn't necessarily make the numbers, but why? Well, do you remember that in April, they closed down, I think it was from the 10th of April or so to the end of the month, about 3 weeks. That's going to hurt your production. You're not going to make your numbers there. But the CEO says they will make the yearly numbers. So they're going to hit 59,000 cars. That'll drive this market eventually better. And they think they'll be completely profitable by the end of this year, 2024, and they won't be chewing through cash. As the saying goes, put your money up. Let's see where the pedal meets the metal, and can they the floor, and can they do it? All right. I used to have a metal floor in hot rod, old days. Lower high, lower low, coming down through all here, and we'll see where that market wants to go. In Dell, coming down. So this is interesting. All I keep hearing is how much CNBC analysts love Dell. I don't know. It was $180 a share. Tonight it's 87. Maybe I don't know my math. It's down over 50% in value. What do they love about it? Losses? I don't know. Eventually it'll turn, but I don't see it. You got your embedded reading and it's still coming down. Linn and XHB, both down today. Now, in XHB, you're down to the 100-day average in the Bollinger Band, and you're oversold. You might find support here, but it's certainly not a bullish chart. And you're down here. Now, you had an outside day down. I always pay attention to outside days. I have a course. If you go to iraepstein.com, under courses, the outside day course. This is a continuation pattern since the market's been poking down. If today's high is taken out on Thursday or Friday, it's often a bear trap, and the market tries to go up to the closest of a moving average or a Bollinger Band above it. Do we have that same type of pattern? Let me come back one here. In XHB, you most certainly do. So just pay attention to those. Then we get, let's keep going here. I want to get on with past that. Now I'm in the right spot. XLF, higher high, lower low, stopping again in a zone of the 100-day average. You had one move under it, then you immediately popped back and you're staying there. You are oversold. There's no reason to be a bottom picker, but you might be looking for some support in this zone. In XLI, you have a higher high, lower low. All it did is get under the Bollinger Band, come back up to the resistance point that I told you. What was once support, and ideally support, and you saw it here, on the way back up is often resistance. Notice on Tuesday and Wednesday, you stop there and you're pulling back. Now, eventually you break down the resistance points. You can go above it if it keeps getting attacked. In XLE, the energies. Okay, so this is where I want to do some talking about what I forgot to say. Late this afternoon, Reuters carried a story that Egypt is telling its civilian aircrafts for a 3-hour period tomorrow. This is so strange. They cannot go near Tehran. No flights are going there, no private planes. No aircraft will be cleared to go to that area. Why? They've received word that Tehran wants to conduct military exercises. Is that a code word for the attack on Israel now? I don't know. But it's so strange. And even the article says this is super strange. Why did Egypt get that? Well, they are the country that is holding the majority of the peace talks. The last thing Iran wants to do is shoot down one of the Egyptian planes. How's that going to settle in the region? I'm just telling you, where there's smoke like that, telling a neighbor of yours that you want to be in good graces, stay away for these hours tomorrow. Maybe it is a military exercise. I got my feeling. If you wake up in the morning and oil's up from here, the energy sector, well, this is the companies, be careful. You know that you can get that move up, and as fast as they spurt, they can come at you the other way. Certainly, the gold market will be one of those that looks at all this. The silver market will be looking at that. Copper market. This is the canary in the mine. People aren't even saying this. What's wrong with them? When copper goes this down, when it's in a bear trend, generally industry isn't doing well. Headline. How's China doing? How's U.S. industry doing? Every time I look at a manufacturing report, you're hoping that they're better, but they haven't been. And copper prices in a state of collapse. That's the proper word. This is a market that got up here to 50, and you're now down to 38. So you've lost 25% of the value approximately. Okay, so I'm just telling you what's going on there. TLT, well, this was the euphoria, interest rates going to just keep breaking and breaking and breaking. And again, I think the parties were foolish to come out and say emergency meeting by the Fed. Let's go with 75 points right now. I could be the one that feels terrible if they do that, because I don't believe they're going to. I think the message is wrong, and I am not seeing in these reports yet what is so terrible. Now, give me a 300,000 jobs claim report. Send the continuing claims going crazy. That'll get my attention. We'll see. And remember, unemployment claims are 1 week, so they're very current. I don't think you're going to get that, but got to bring it up. Dollar came down. What happens tomorrow if we wake up and Israel has been attacked? Well, I would think the dollar's up here is a safe haven play. Probably the yen higher, probably the Swiss franc, probably the gold and the energies. Okay, that would be my guess. We'll see. In the euro, you got up, you're falling back a bit. You're not quite in overbought territory, not at all yet. No trend, higher, high, lower, and low. You've just traveled between the upper and lower numbers here, and that's pretty much what I'm seeing. So you've got a lot to think about tonight, and you got a lot here to digest. And if you don't understand these terms that I do or what these numbers are, get our volumes 1 and 2 for free of what they explain. It comes to you in a PDF form. It's simple. You can print it out. They'll print out in these colors. We made this out of the exact part of it. So it really works pretty cool. I have the originals, obviously. But our good friends at Modern Trader lets me put this out. We have all the oscillators, market sentiment, talks about how you figure out where you're at. If you're a cycle person, it covers Elliott, Gann, all these type of things. Principles of Elliott, different spread relationships, backwardation, forward, where are you? Got to learn all this. Options primer. And one big thing you also forget about, money management. So often I don't tell my clients to do anything because there's too much risk. How do you manage that? What do you do? That's what we talk about. So if you're interested, give us a call. You can also go online, IraEpstein.com, and when you're there, go to free offers or move your cursor up here, and that'll take care of you as well. In the meantime, you have a great trading day. I'm Ira Epstein. Thanks for watching. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Take care.